that was one of the fastest reads I've done so far, because it was a comic book. Hello, and welcome to my Star Wars Legends reviews. Today I read Shadow of the Empire, the comic version, only because it came with a Mara Jade comic. There's a second Shadow of the Empire, but I didn't really care about that. Here's the thing. Before I talk about anything, Shadow of the Empire was a huge multimedia project. The story takes place in between episode 5 and 6. And it came out as a novel. It came out as a comic book, which is what I read. And it came out as a video game. There's a video game called Shadow of the Empire where he plays Dash Rendar. And you can play as him and do stuff. So, all of which have contradictions. So, pick one and don't do the others. So if you read the novel, don't get the comic, because they go through things really quickly. If you played a video game, just know that Dash Rendar fights Boba Fett, and it doesn't really make sense with the story, because they shouldn't have the time to do that. Yo, relax, cat. But, yo, sit. But, so, this is sometime after 5. It might even be like another year, I don't know, or a couple months. It doesn't really specify. Luke has his, new hand. Han, is in carbonite, and Boba Fett has him. And everything with Boba Fett was super duper cool. I don't read that much comic books, but it was just really fun to see Boba Fett kick some butt. This book has as its main villain Prince Caesar, or Zizor? Caesar? I don't know how to say his name, but he's like this green reptilian bad guy. He's the head of Black Sun, which is one of the biggest criminal syndicates of Star Wars. I first read about him in one of the Han Solo trilogy books by A.C. Crispin. It was either Hutt's Gambit or it was Rebel Dawn, but he's in there. It might have been Rebel Dawn. But he's also mentioned in Allegiance once, because Vader hates him with a passion. He just despises Prince Caesar. Luke and Lando and Chewie and they want to go rescue Han, and they try to stop Boba Fett, and they have Rogue Squadron help. But Boba Fett gets away, and then we have a bunch of the other bounty hunters trying to kill Boba Fett and get the bounty, because Han Solo's apparently worth a lot, because Jabba really wants him. And you have Dash Rendar helping. Dash Rendar was actually mentioned. He was shown in Rebel Dawn, because Han's on Tatooine right before he goes and meets Luke for the first time in episode 4, and he talks to Dash Rendar for a second. And in the special edition, I think, of Star Wars, you can actually see a ship leaving Mos Eisley before we get into the cantina shot or something like that. But it's cool. He's cool. He's just another mercenary. And he's kind of like Han, except that he really is mainly in it for the money. He's cool with them. He has no ill will toward them. But he's only helping them because, they're helping him, so. If you can hear that, I apologize. Luke is starting to get better with his powers, which is going to lead into episode 6, where he's, choking out, the pigs and whatnot, the Gamorreans or whatever, and it's going to be really cool. Prince Caesar has this weird, if you can hear that again, I apologize. We're in quarantine, I can't do anything about it. But he has this weird, aroma about him, where he can make, a woman, just desire him. So that's a whole thing, but it's kind of weird. I think it's more in depth in the book, but it's just it's kind of weird here. But yeah. So that happens. Of course, Boba Fett makes it to Jabba because he's gotta give Jabba Han Solo for Episode 6 to happen. And yeah, I mean, I could tell you more, but assuming you get the comic, it's not that long, so you should just read it. Of course, if you get the novel, it's gonna be much more in depth and have a lot more stuff to it. But that's not the story I got to read. So anyway, it was really engaging. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Definitely wish it was more like a novel and didn't go by so fast. Maybe I can go buy the novel at some point, but it was definitely a fun ride. And Vader was in it for a bit, which is always cool. Emperor Palpatine was in it, which is also cool. And by the end of the book, he's going to Endor because the new Death Star is being built. So I don't know if Episode 6 happens right after. It seems like there might be a couple months between that because, he's getting better, Luke is, with the Force, but he's still got to be, like, a pro, which he isn't yet, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, next up is going to be True Sip at Korra. So we'll see how that goes, which will take place after Episode 6, mind you. But yeah, I'll see you then. This one's nice and short. The other one's usually like 15 minutes to like 20 minutes, because I had a lot to say. But not this one. So yeah, Shadows of the Empire, really cool. Go check it out, whichever version you prefer. Catch you next time.